Good evening, it is Brian at Fitzpatrick's Garage, Dublin Road, Kildare. I want to show you this car here, which is a 2018 1.5 turbo, and this is a Honda Civic, what's called S design. This car is part of our fleet at the moment, and I hope you don't buy it. I'm only joking, I hope you do. But to be fair, it's my favourite car that we've had on the fleet this year. It's such a nice car, and you know, I suppose it's part of the fleet from the point of view of showing people, but the odd time I have driven this car home on the weekends, and it's definitely one of my favourite cars that we've had, as I was saying, all year long, because it's got the 182 horsepower turbo VTEC engine. Just in case you want information on the car, Brian is my name. Apologies about the wind this evening, it's a little bit windy, but 086 843 1945. Brian is me. If you want any information, do not hesitate to give us a shout. We are a family-run business in operation for almost 70 years. And as long as I've been working here, which is since 2007, of all the cars that we have had through the garage, in terms of on our demonstrator fleets, this is definitely one of my favourites. Anyway, why is it one of my favourites? Let's have a look around. So the first thing is, I just want to get into the car and switch on the indicators, because I love the headlights on these cars. So, indicators on. So, at the very front, if we look in through here, there is a big long LED strip in through here for the indicators. As you see along through here, this is my daytime running light, which is also a parking light in this case. And I've also got LED headlamps for the fulls and for the dips as well. Down through here, then I've got my front LED fog lamp as well, so that's quite unusual. In through here we'll have Honda sensing, I'll show you that in a sec. Parking sensors are standard in through here, and then the headlights have headlight washers up through there as well. I think the front of these cars is so nice, and the red and black goes really well together. It's kind of low light sort of this evening at this point, but like, how cool is that looking at the front with those indicators? The big black grille down into the black sections along here, and then actually if you look, there's little bumper extensions on the front of the 1.5 turbos down low over here and over here as well, just to make them look a little bit lower to the ground, so really aggressive. So everything's kind of piano black all the way along the front in through there as well. Moving around to the side, the wheels are a nice 17-inch wheels, so not too big and clumsy. There is bigger wheels on the market, but these ones are quite nice. 17-inch wheels, remember, it's a car that's got 182 horsepower, so 17-inch wheels are not big and clumsy. You're not losing any kind of power. You put 19s and 20s on a car, that's quite a drag on the power level. So what I'm showing you here is, if you look, it's nice and reflective, and that means at night time or artificial light, it just shines nicely along all the way through. Looking down the side of the car, I've picked the worst side because that's where the sun is. So let's move around to the other side. So looking at the side of the car, wow, this is the windy side. If you look along through there, like we were saying, the 17-inch wheels, I really like the side markers that are up through here on them as well. Gives it a nice profile at night. Down through the bottom section in here, you'll see there's little side skirts, which are again black to match everything else that's going on in the car. There's no chrome around the windows on the 1.5, so black all the way around through there. Privacy glass on the rear, and then moving around to the rear, we have the same, obviously, alloy wheel as you'd expect. And like the front, then it has those little additional lip extras which bring it down a little bit further and closer to the ground to make it look more sporty. The grills are black across the back. This is just a wee transfer stickers that like literally just peels off with your finger. And then after that, this one has a dual exit exhaust, which is functional and makes some nice noises. I'm just going to give you an idea. How fun is that? So it's not overly loud or anything like that, it's just a little bit of a hum. When you start the car, you know you're in something special because it just makes a little bit of noise. Right, moving on to the back, LED taillights all the way around the back, and in through here then, I quite like that badge. That is from the Asian, and what I mean by Asian, unfortunately I can't narrow it down, so it might be Malaysia or Thailand, but they actually have that VTEC turbo badge on the back of their cars. In Europe they don't get it, so I got it for this one because I think it looks nice and it suits, kind of complements the Civic on that side and then the VTEC turbo on the other side. But the rear of the car, I think it's got such a nice kind of shape to it overall. In terms of the spoilers up on the boot. So there's a spoiler that moves across the back here, and there's a spoiler up top. So this spoiler up top here takes air down in through there, pushes it down and down underneath here, so to give it the most aerodynamic sort of way of wind to move off the car as possible. And then underneath, the car has a nice flat setup underneath, so there's nothing really sticking down and protruding, and the idea is then that it's going to have, I suppose, little wind resistance, again increasing fuel efficiency and increasing aerodynamics as it moves forward. After that then, in terms of the inside, sure, look, while we're at it, let's have a look at this engine bay. So just going to pop that. Aluminium pedals are standard, which are quite nice when you've got runners on. So the car at the moment should have about 5,000 kilometres when it's up for sale. It's got less at the moment, but it will continue to be driven. That is the 1.5 turbo engine. Nothing amazing to look at, to be fair, but we do know it's got VTEC turbo. So one thing, when you put your foot down on this car, there's a load of torque, which is not something you kind of traditionally associate with VTEC engines. But in this one, it's got a bomb of torque. It's great fun to drive. Really, honestly now, it is. Come drive it, see yourself. It's really, really good fun to drive. So a really good looking car. Black and red goes really well, I think, on this car, so it does overall. In terms of the passenger side, sorry, these are some keys, and that's just some advertising paraphernalia. But everything's spotless underneath. But you'd expect that, like, the car is pretty much as new anyway, so condition is going to be nice. They're actually anti-whiplash head restraints. There is an airbag down the side, there's an airbag up along here, there's also a front airbag, same on your driver's side as well, and then all those doors have steel bars for side impact protection. There's emergency brake assist, emergency brake distribution. It can read traffic signs going forward to tell you the current speed zone you're in. It has radar cruise control, so what it can do is basically follow the car in front. It has lane change warning, which basically warns you if you drift out of lane, or lane keep assist, which basically means that it'll actually keep you within the lanes on your motorway, or actually even a back road, as long as there's lines on either side of the road. So lots and lots of safety features. Moving around to the back of the car, down through here, so little bits of storage down underneath in through here, and then after that we'll say the boot is really good in these. The sun is not on this camera, but the reason I'm saying that to you is, if you look at the boot, it's really accessible how you get at it. It's just really easy to put stuff in there, a large open area, and then if I want to go bananas altogether, I can just let this back, and now I've got a really high, easy to access load area, so it's quite cool the way that works. Up through there, I can close that down, and then after that, in terms of the rear of the car, so there is obviously speakers and tweeters, so tweeter, speaker, electrics for windows, usual central locking and all that kind of stuff in through there. 3 head restraints, 3 3-point safety belts, armrest and centre with drinks holder if you want, Isofix. This can be a family car. So if you are somebody that's looking for a car that you like and that's a bit of fun to drive, but you have a family, this is a family car. So it'll do everything that a good family car will do. We've had people trade SUVs in for these because they're going, do you know what, I want something that's a bit exciting and fun to drive, but I still have family. After that then, headlights will be automated, again keeping within the idea of safety. Headlights will be automated, so from the outside of the car, if we hit the lock button there, basically the headlights will turn off after a couple of seconds. But the other cool thing is they're actually auto dip, so when you meet traffic they actually dip themselves, and when you go back into an unlit area they go full themselves. So the lights are still on. We're going to use the key in a sec, so if I use the key, lights come back on. And then the other cool thing is I can actually access, say, the likes of windows, or I can lock the car similarly and bring wing mirrors back in and windows back up. So full global closure inside and out in the car, right inside where it's not as windy. So here's the start up sequence even. So quite a nice set of clocks. They're all digital. We'll come back to them in a sec. So one USB connector with an armrest. After that then I have gears are 6 forward as you expect. Nice gearbox, easy and precise. Reverse camera comes up through here in the centre, and I've got different methods of what way I want to view it, and it's also got dynamic guidelines as I turn left and right and all that kind of stuff in through there. I've also got heating controls which are dual zone, so my side, passenger side, I can go back into neutral and I can hit climate, and climate then is going to bring up all touch and swipe heating controls in through there. I can go back in home, and that's going to give me things like, we'll say, my navigation. Yes, I agree that if I crash the car, it's my fault. So in through there eventually. So it's all touch and swipe. Audio up through there, general settings. You can do this much better than the way it's set up there. Navigation in through there, which is Garmin. But the cool thing about it is you can use Apple Maps and Android Auto and all that kind of stuff if you set up the smartphone connection in through there. So Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, so all very easy to use. Lots and lots of functionality for how you listen to music and Spotify and WhatsApp and all that kind of stuff. So really cool. Headlights we said are automated, and they dip when they meet traffic and they go full when you're going into an unlit area again. In through here you also have the auto wipers. Down through there we've got things like parking sensors and headlight washers and lane change warning, all the stuff we talked about already. These are the cruise control functions which operate up in this area here. So when I turn that on, lane change warning, or I can choose how far behind the car in front I want to stay, all that kind of stuff in through there. After that then I can toggle down through here. So this is my Bluetooth and radio and all those kind of controls, and then this one here is going to change information in here. This is my favorite because it is the turbocharger. So as you're driving along you'll see it actually, starts to generate up along here, showing you what the turbocharger is doing. After that then it'll give me things like average fuel, all the information like navigation and radio and all that kind of stuff is in through there as well. So all very cool and easy to use. Inside the car it's all black along through there, so it's quite a nice place to be, and it's all congruent. So the car, really, the theme overall is red and black. I think that's really most of it. If you want a car that's fun to drive, but it's still a normal family car, and that car, like, that's for sale now. Like, I already thought that was super value at a brand new price of $29.5, but we've discounted the car back because we have used it. I hope you don't buy this car, because the longer it's on the fleet, the longer I get to drive it. But yes, someday somebody's going to have to come along and buy it and take it away. But damn nice car, one of my favourites. Honestly, this is not a big sales pitch. I really think that's a lovely car. So 1.5 VTEC turbo, 182 horsepower. Realistically speaking, well, actually road tax 280, but realistically speaking, that car all day long. I have put 1,500 kilometers on that car on a 1 week journey, and it did 6 litres per 100 kilometers, and that was up around some back roads in Donegal, which are not nice in terms of fuel efficiency. And that was no problem to that car there. So I was being nice to the car, but I was also giving it a dart every now and then in terms of driving. So very, very, very good on fuel, considering you're getting 180 horsepower. So really a best of both kind of setup. Warranty until 2021, AA cover until 2021. We can do finance, we can do part exchanges, we can accept even any kind of car you have as a part exchange. So I guess overall, if you want a car that's easy to run, but it's actually fun, and it's well equipped, and it's different, and that, do you know what's nice about these? They're different. So you can drive up and down the road and you see lots of Focuses and Golfs and all sorts of other things like 30s and Auruses and all that kind of stuff. This car is actually fun. It's less than 30 grand, and this one in particular has now got a big discount on the car as well. So I think it's really, really good value for someone, and we own it since new, so we know the car inside out, so there's been no stories or anything like that with it. So if you want a nice car, please consider one of those, because I think you'll be really, really happy. Anyway, thanks for taking time to watch. Brian is my name, 086 843 1945. We are Fitzpatrick's Garage, Kildare Town. Family run business in operation for almost 70 years. If you come to the garage, just ask for Brian, or if you want information before you travel, 086 843 1945, and I can talk to you about financing, trade-ins, all that kind of stuff. So there you go. Thanks for taking time to watch.